Luigi Mangione, the suspected gunman in the United Healthcare CEO, has arrived here in New York City after dropping his extradition fight. He was flown into Islip, Long Island, and there you have a video of him from just moments ago. Then he was choppered to downtown Manhattan and Wall Street, and he's now due before a federal judge at the top of the hour. Of course, keep it right here on Newsmax. We're going to continue following all of the latest developments. Let's bring in our next guest, Jonathan Gilliam. Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be with you.
The hoopla, right? The mayor escorted him. The police commissioner, he flies by plane, then helicopter. You're seeing this massive security presence. And the fact that he's also being charged with a federal crime, right, which makes him now death penalty eligible, because we don't have the death penalty here in New York. He's due to appear before a federal judge at the top of the hour. Jonathan, what do you think about all of these developments?
Well, there's a lot. I think the hoopla that you're talking about, I don't like that. I think it makes him look like a celebrity. And that's a problem when it comes to the people who think that he did something righteous and upstanding. I actually like the fact, now I'm not an attorney, so let's make that clear, but from the standpoint of showing others what could potentially happen if something if they consider doing something like this, I like the fact that the feds have gotten involved in this. He's been charged by the federal government in the Southern District of New York, because if the opportunity arises and this thing works its way out through the court system and he gets the death penalty, that is a huge deterrent for a lot of people to copycat or, carry out their narcissistic, altruistic goals of being a hero and being noticed. And I think in a lot of ways that's what you see here. I think his attorney is going to, before the Southern District charge him, I think his attorney, most likely, from what I've seen of what she said prior to take him on as a client, that she's probably going to try to push for the insanity plea. That's going to be a little bit different when the federal government gets involved, and also the NYPD, because so much evidence shows that he knew what he was doing and that he wanted to do that. So I think this is going to be very interesting, but I don't like the hoopla. I don't like people being paraded like a celebrity.
Yeah, this is unusual. I've been a reporter for many years on the streets there. I've covered many cases right outside of that courthouse, seen many suspects land, and I'm kind of surprised by how much law enforcement, how many cameras, and how he's being kind of paraded before the cameras. Now, to your point, Mangione's New York lawyer, Karen Friedman Agnifilo, she said in a statement that the federal government's reported decision to pile on top of an already overcharged first-degree murder and state terror case is highly unusual and raises serious constitutional and statutory double jeopardy concerns. What do you think about her statement there?
Well, it hasn't been tried yet, and so I think there's a difference between state and federal charges. I mean, I don't know why she's saying double jeopardy, because in the court of law, when somebody goes through the system, a state system, and there's also federal charges, there can also be a federal case. So I'm not exactly clear where she's coming up with the double jeopardy or the overcharge. If somebody's guilty of a crime, charge them with the crime. If they plead out, or if the courts decide that they don't feel that those charges are necessary, then those things will work their way out. But he's clearly done the crimes that they're accusing him of. But here's the other thing, is that they have to send a message. Here's one thing about this individual that's different than many of the others, is that he has developed a cult following by these altruistic, I use this a lot because it seems to be everywhere now, these altruistic social groups, these narcissistic groups of people who meet on the internet, or maybe they hang out in certain areas in the city or wherever, but they have an unrealistic understanding of life, and they are driven by hate. And we've seen these people, same people, they protest Wall Street. They always try to find some kind of a cause to jump behind that they can rally behind that's obscure. And that's exactly what's happening. I think a lot of these charges have to do with sending a message that if you play this game, you are going to lose. And I hope that's what they're doing.
I hope it is too. Jonathan Gilliam, former Navy SEAL, law enforcement expert, author of Sheep No More. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Thank you.
You got it. Thank you.